Welcome back to Editor's Roundtable on CNBC-TV18. Now, there was lots that took place this week. One thing that stood out and what we're going to talk about is PSU earnings. There have been some hits, there have been some misses this quarter. FY25, in fact, has started on a stronger note, but we've seen big rallies as well in stocks. So, Nimesh, you have some details for us?
Well, in fact, FY25 has not started on a strong footing. In fact, the hits and the misses were more in favor of misses than in terms of hits. I was looking at the Motilal report today, and they said, for FY25, there are only 64 companies where there's been an earnings upgrade of more than 3%. On the other side, there are more than 108 companies where there's been an earning downgrades of more than 3%. So, in that sense, it was not so great. I just want to add a bit on the PSUs. It's been a mixed bag for the PSUs. I'm largely saying this because there has been so much of retail interest. I thought I'll just put some data in terms of how the PSUs have done in Q1. First, the big misses of Q1 in terms of the PSU basket. Midani was a big underperformer in this quarter. The EBITDA margins are down 780 basis points. That's the kind of miss we've seen there. All the three OMCs have also seen a big miss in terms of EBITDA. But here I'll put in a caveat that they've all taken a hit because of the LPG subsidy, which might get reversed in the second half of this year. So not much to read into that. But RVNL, Bharat Dynamics, Railtel, BML, all have seen a bit of a mixed bag in terms of earnings. Only Railtel was a bit of an outlier as far as the EBITDA margins are concerned. Having said that, there were some outperformers as well, who've done well. Cochin Shipyard was a classic example. The EBITDA margins are up 600 basis points. So was the case with Mazgaon Dock as well. They've done relatively better in this quarter. So was HAL Hindustan Aeronautics, which is not a big disappointment. It was actually in line to slightly positive as well. But if you look at these kind of PSU stocks, on an average, where the misses have been quite higher, all the stocks have shaved off between 15 to 25% from the recent peaks. But if you look at the valuation picture, it's still very, very expensive. Look at Bharat Dynamics, it's still trading at almost 40 times, whereas the 5-year average is nearly 30-odd times. Cochin Shipyard is at 48 times even now, whereas the average has been just 14-15 times. So is Garden Reach. It's still quoting at around 31 times versus the average of 17 times. So it's been a mixed bag, in the PSU basket. But Nilesh, you've been saying about the Amar Akbar Anthony, the Anthonic part of the market. We have seen so many disasters in Q1. Is this a bit of an eye-opener for retail investors that watch out for earnings, and now they're clearly seeing cracks in many companies now?
Undoubtedly. There are many PSUs where turnover is almost flat over 5-year period.